And that's what all the isms of the world would do. They would push you away and bully you and scare you and to eventually into that corner where you have no voice at all. So there's something that upsets you right now. There's something that you stand for. To stand up, chest out, and stand for something. This is the Better Man channel, where the name of the game is to stand up when there's time to still stand up. Stand up before you have to sit down. We live in a world today where there's many things that need to be stood up for. We as men need to begin to stand up for what is right. Hell, we need to begin to stand up against or stand against what is wrong. We live in this politically correct world where everybody's wanting to identify with some cause, some social justice warrior bullshit. And everybody's just trying to cling to something just to cling to something. And no one really has an idea of any true philosophy, any true ideology that's going to outlast this temporary bullshit that we currently see. So as men, as masculine men, as men that know their identity to be assertive and dominant leaders, we've got to begin to stand up. And the deal with just kind of brushing things off because they're not too big and they seem very trivial is that one day they're going to become large, and they may become so large that they're larger than anything that we can stand up against. So the idea is to stand up against things while they are still small. Because if we allow something to get bigger and bigger, eventually we're going to shrink away and shrink away and shrink away and wonder how we allowed it to get so big. So there's a problem and there's issues to solve in your life. You know it. There's something that fills you with this righteous rage. There's something that gets under your skin. There's something that pisses you off. And there's something in your community or your very own life. God, we all know we need to work on our own lives. Hell, we're our worst enemy sometimes, and we need to learn how to stand up against ourselves if we ever want to stand up against something bigger, such as community, society, and the world at large. But there's something that angers us or upsets us, whether it's our own life or community, relations, whatever it may be, your workplace, friendships. There's something that we could go to work on and stand up for or stand up against and let our voice be heard. And many a man are going to say, well, I can't use my voice. I'll be ostracized and criticized and labeled this and that. Well, it's better to be labeled that now than to never even be able to be heard. And that's what all the isms of the world would do. They would push you away and bully you and scare you and to eventually into that corner where you have no voice at all. So there's something that upsets you right now. There's something that you can stand for or stand against currently where your voice can be heard. And it's not so big that it has outgrown your ability to stand up against it. So as men, it is time, whatever it may be. And I'm not talking that maybe you have to go out and change the world or save the world. Maybe it's just you. Maybe you've allowed some bullshit perception to grow in your mind and it's getting bigger and bigger, and you need to address it and confront it head on before it's bigger than you. And you need to stand up to it while you still have the ability to out-bully the bully. Because many times we put things off because, it's not any big deal. The bully comes along and only asks you for 5 cents. It's not any big deal. I have $1. But then he comes again tomorrow and asks for 10 cents. And the next day he's bullying and intimidating you for all of your money. And before you know it, this bully, who is just some little punk, has actually outgrown you into this shadowy monster, and you're scared and you shrink away into the corner. And that's life. We as men are more powerful than I believe we actually recognize. And we have the voice, the power, the authority to stand up to the bullies of life who will shrink away eventually when we stand up long enough and courageous enough and hard enough and persevere through their bullshit temporary lies. You're a man. It's time to stand up. Shoulders back, chest out, chin up, and stand for what you believe, and at the very least, not allow people to overrun you. It's not that you have to be the voice of your generation, but have the backbone that doesn't allow some bullshit to push you over, push through you, and affect not only you, but your family, your friends, your community. We need men to stand up for what's right. We need men to stand up against things that are wrong. We need a society that actually begins to decipher between right or wrong and the gray areas in between. And we have this clear cut and dry perception. This is right. This is wrong because I stand for it. And we have a generation that needs men to do that so that they don't get lost and caught up in the entitled social justice warrior political agenda that is currently going on. Be a man, stand up, take responsibility, and change your life by voicing your opinion, and at the very least, voicing your opinion through your actions, your demeanor, your posture. I love you guys. You will see me next video.